We are playing win, qual, or dud. We basically are going to randomly draw 3 teams from the upper bracket of semi-finals, and then we're going to pick one of those teams to win a game and qualify via winning, one of those teams to qualify through consistency, and one of those teams will be picked to dud out of the FNCS. Let's jump right into it. Give it to him. No!
Garrison Cho.
Garrison Cho, for the audio listeners, it was very, very close to being Harris and Skivvy, which would have been perfect for Harry because we know that's his favorite team in the entire world.
They are my favorite team to watch. They are.
Well, what's the second team going to be? We got Chino and O'Reilly. That's an interesting one.
Okay.
This could, depending on this third team, this could get really fun / difficult for you, Harry.
It's going to be interesting to see how Harry mentions Queasy in this one because
I'll add them in somehow.
Queasy's in the chat now too, watching. So.
Oh my!
Oh my God!
You got a stacker.
So Cami and Stetti was the last team.
Okay. Cami and Seti, Noah and Chino, and Giras and Chari.
I don't know if I don't know if this is as hard as it's meant. Like, these teams are all insanely good. Don't get me wrong. I think all of these would be capable of making grands, but obviously the game winner, especially with how they're playing this season, is Cami and Seti. They have a huge tendency. Crazy coming in and saying, how am I talking about him every time? Hey, they're setting me up. It's not me. They're setting me up. But no, Cami and Seti, with the way they're playing this season, their huge tendency towards height now, working with Blood X, the banana fizz onto height. I just feel like they're just going to win a game. I think that my only worry is if they're too reliant on that. But I think with the meta that's coming, with the Surge meta the way they're playing towards end games, I feel like they're the favored game winners here. Now, this would be harder if Geras and Cherry weren't contested. Now they're getting contested at a spot, which is probably just going to end up getting split. To be honest, if you're going to end up with Dandir and Snozcube probably splitting the north side and just taking scuff loot and just trying to get top 25 every single time just to make it through. And when you have that happening, you haven't really got much hope of getting a good performance, right? You're just going to have pretty bad loot, which you're not really going to be able to do a lot with. So in my opinion, I'd go Chino and O'Reilly with left side Snooty uncontested. I'd go them to qual through consistency. They're not the most consistent team when it comes to Surge, but they just have those pop-off games. When you have 2 fighters together, you're going to have those pop-off games. Yeah. And they can still fight towards Forecast until Mongrel and Savage are in this lobby. I don't know if Bevies and Pablo go for Forecast as much. So you're going to get No and Chino fighting for that Forecast most games with probably focus on Zangi or Volko and Vortexes. So they're going to have games where, the pop-off games where they have Forecast.
Yep.
So they'll just call through consistency that way. And then, Geras and Chari are just going to be too scuffed off spawn. They're not going to have good loot. And and also with the split next to them being contested as well, you're just going to have 4 teams within a very small area, fencing being triple conned as well. You have like 8, how many teams is it? It's 7 teams within such a small area. You're not going to have a good time.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think the safer team to pick there probably is Noah and Chino. I do have Giras in that category with like Vortex and like Cade and Diox and all these brothers that they're just always going to be in grand. So I do think this is one of the harder ones in terms of it's just harsh to say they're going to dud because I do still think they'll call through and make it. But obviously you got to make a decision. And I think your decision probably is probably makes sense. I think that's reasonable. Do you think it would be an overcook to say Noah and Chino win a game and Cami and Seti qualify on consistency?
Any other season, I'd say yes. This season, the way Cami and Seti are playing, no. I mean, like
they will win a game. Yeah.
Because as I said, they are just hugely reliant or play towards the high ground. They do love playing height now this season with obviously the water bending as well. The famous clip we've seen now. Everyone's seen the resub video of Cami doing a ridiculous amount of damage on height with the water bending. I just feel we're going to see very similar things when we're in grand finals or in these finals coming up.
I'd say every single season, Cami and Seti would be the pick here. Come on, Cami and Seti, they're game winners now. They have
been for a while.
They have been, They always do find a way. Then they've innovated a little bit more this season than most to try to continue on that playstyle. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're winning one of the games. Probably, I'm going to make a prediction right now. Game number 3, upper bracket number 1.
Okay.
Come back to this when it happens. It always doesn't happen, but it's pretty cool when it happens.
Then Chino, Monday.
We'll be here Monday, and that'll be so cool when it happens, but probably won't happen. Then Chino, Noah, yes, I agree. Will probably be one of the teams that make it to consistency. There is like chunks in the armor that aren't like they don't look as good as I think I've seen of Noah's previous duos and combinations. And for Geras and Hari, they're just there. Geras always has that potential to be like randomly top 10 in grand finals, and I don't know how, but out of the three teams here, you have to give them the least favorite. I do disagree though. I don't think they're gonna split that spot. I don't know how we're splitting that spot when we're landing on gas station to the north. You know,
it's down there, mate. He's gonna. He'll split wherever he can split, Dandy. He'll just split it. He'll just take some to the north.
All right, so the hate list is Dandy.
I did to the hate list.
Are we the farmers region? Are we the region?
We might be.
Yeah,
we might be. Mustache and Malabuka. Okay. Who's gonna be next? Who's gonna be? Maybe we finally got a decent one there.
Okay.
All right. Now we get interesting there. Trulets and Chicho. Okay.
But who's doing this one?
I thought it was gonna be Boot, but
I think it's me. Yeah. Make it easy.
Hey. That was close.
That was almost a stacker.
It was almost there. It was almost there.
It was almost gonna be the content right there. That's our YouTube video gone down the drain.
We could have the hot take here potentially about talk about how Mercers and Malabuka haven't lived up to expectations. You know, Trulix and Chicha have looked decent and are living up to expectation, but they're not a team that they're the team that just guaranteed. If you look at the final moving zone, they're there existing. Not guaranteed to win because the play style of if we have 3 medkits going to final moving zone, we're gonna play 3 medkits and then get top 3 in that game. You know, that's the way to play the game. Vortix and cool. Vortix has this guy is literally on levels of Mr. Savage and Mongo in terms of fame. You know, it's the #1 ass person I've seen talked about when it comes to what do you think about Vortix, or how do you think about Zangi? You know, Focus, like those guys are
talks. It's talks.
Or is he Andy? Like these guys have the loudest fan bases. Realistically, they should be playing in silence because they're landing in one of the worst spots I've ever seen in my life on the bottom right side of the map. The team that is winning the game is Mercers Malabuka, Trulix and Chicho making through consistency, and Vortix and Cool or the Fool. Boom.
Ooh, bars. I like that. I like that.
I won't get into a diss track with you, Boot.
I like it. Just went straight away.
No, let's go. Vico and Pink finally get their call up. Okay. Vico and Pink. Who's going to be next? Who do we draw next?
Let's just make it a stacker so the last one's as shit as possible.
We'll give it Haris. Yes.
Okay, Haris and Squee. And who's going to be last? Imagine. Okay.
It's not bad.
Okay. Okay. Where are we going with this one then? I mean, my dud is going to be Zangi and Focus, unfortunately, so we'll get that out of the way. Haris and Skivvy versus Vico and Pink. Who wins a game versus who's on consistency? Oh my goodness. Okay.
This is the closest one. I think this is the closest one we've had.
This is a hard one for me because the way Vico and Pink have been playing this season, they've not really been height focused at all, right? Like they won that first core 1. I don't think they even looked at height once the whole time. Haris and Skivvy have been the team that has impressed me the most, I think, of any team this season.
On the hype train.
Definitely on the hype train, and they do play for height, like when it's available. Like they are a team that is going to be up there and playing for height a bit more than Vico and Pink are. And so for that reason, I think they're probably more likely to win a game. But Vico and Pink, like, I can see both of these teams winning a game. But I think if I had to pick one, that is more nailed on to win a game, I'd say Haris and Skivvy. And then Vico and Pink call on consistency, and then Focus and Zangi dud.
So why do you hate Pink?
Yeah, come on. Why do you hate Pink?
really, it's because he owes me like for food. I bought him lunch. He said he would pay me back. He didn't pay me back. So that's really where the beef is.
Money's tight, man. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, you've heard enough about me talk about Harrison Skivvy. Like, I obviously I think they're one of the best teams this season. I think the way, like we're talking about it loads about how this format is not showing a lot of the top teams performing really well. Harrison Skivvy have been one of the best teams over this format, consistently doing well, consistently, in their end games, being able to play through height and low ground. You said when height is free, they're able to play it. But Pink and Vico also on the same level. But as you said, they don't play for height as much. They use their bananas to actually get better positioning, less so for heal off. They're utilizing it to get deeper into to get those thirds and fourths and seconds.
They play Storm a lot.
They play Storm
really well, better than any other team I've seen. Really, to be honest, they play it a lot.
It fixes their whole timings in endgame. So realistically, I don't see them being able to win heal offs, but they're going to be top 5 in every single one of the qualifiers in 100%. Every single one. They'll be up there, and when it comes to top 25, they'll just qualify pretty easily.
Yeah, I agree.
It's one of those things for Vico and Pinks that everything when it goes right goes perfectly right. FNCS, when it goes right, the vibes are up, like they're winning FNCS and they're doing this. But then when things go wrong, it goes horrifically wrong for them. And you always see that when it comes to duo cash cups, maybe because there's less on the line and maybe you don't care as much about it. But I always have my worries about Vico and Pink because they're one of the best teams that are also very not the best team. It's a lot can go wrong, and momentum based. It's just I'm always scared for them, but they always make it through regardless. It just them competitive focus and Zangi is not really close.
I think this will be a good test for Pink and Vico because they're uncon, and I think the worst case scenario for them come grand finals is them being uncon. And so I think this will be a nice testing ground for them of how are we going about getting our surge? If we don't have, if we're in a bit more difficult lobbies and we aren't contested and can get some early surge to play with, what does our game plan look like then? But yeah, I think both teams will be fine.
Yeah, they're the two teams that impressed me the most. Yo, if you enjoyed that video, make sure to click the link in the top right here. You can check out the full podcast where we waffle a little bit more about competitive Fortnite. And if you do enjoy it, make sure to subscribe as well.